David Gately's got the early word on the weekend punt. This is Gators Game Plan.
So Gators, he's having a break as the head coach of RSN Central heading into Saturday, and we're replacing him with Nicholas Quinn, who's ready to go. Hello to you, Quinny. Fresh haircut, cleanly shaven as well, so you've basically delivered the goods for this media conference.
Well, I mean, Gator normally does this in a singlet at a cafe, so I thought I'd try and mix things up a little bit and put the suit on, and no, I'm not going to court. That's what Sean Cosgrove suggested before, but hopefully we can find a winner or two, and it does look a pretty nice day at Caulfield on Saturday.
If you've got a question for Quiddy or myself, let us know. 0416 90 50 52 about this weekend's racing. We're racing at Caulfield and at Doomben, Randwick. There's a Sunshine Coast feature meeting as well on the Sunday. Their big meeting, of course, transferred to Sunday after it was washed out last Saturday. But Quinny, what do you think of this Caulfield meeting? And with our game plan, you know the drill. Who's the first horse that you're picking this weekend in your football side?
The first horse I'm picking is, in my opinion, the horse that will be the best galloper on the program. Malkovich goes around in race 8 on the card, run a 10, chasing a third straight victory. Is a horse that's just going to race through the grades nicely. Was a really stylish win last start. Damien Lane rode on that occasion and was happy to sort of take the horse forward and sit a little bit wide and then put the race to bed in the blink of an eye. He's got a really good turn of foot, and there's no shortage of class from a jockey perspective on Saturday with Jamie Carr replacing Damien Lane. Drawn barrier 10, so I do think that's quite ideal because I can just see Jamie gliding the horse forward. Will either probably contest the lead, sit outside the lead, or may do something similar where prepared to set a little bit wide and then make the run down the crown of the course. And I think this horse will get the job done again. Just under $3 on the fixed odds. I think will be popular between now and race day. And Malkovich is probably a horse that will race through the grades. We can look back in a few months and probably grin at the fact we got $3 on this runner winning the John Manor Stakes on Saturday.
Is it tougher than is the race tougher than what he had to face there last time here at Caulfield in your eyes, Quinny?
Well, marginally, but there are also circumstances that make it slightly more appealing as well.
Yes.
Had to lump the 61 kilos on that occasion, so drops 3 kilos from that victory. And the two class runners in the field, I think, will be in for really good preparations, but potentially not this Saturday. We've got Viridine and also Order of Command. Now, Viridine, I'm a big fan of this horse, and is a model of consistency, was second to Jungle Edge in the race last year and then came out and won the Bletchley and the Regal Roller the following 2 starts. So expect Viridine to run well. I will put Viridine in the quaddie, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Viridine place again on Saturday and then go on and have a similar sort of campaign. Now, since that Regal Roller victory, Viridine hasn't managed to win a race, but has gone mighty close, running 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 5th, 4th, 6th and 3rd. And some of those races at Group 1 level, including that 6th behind Severtuxel there in the Goodwood. So we know Viridine is a class galloper, but I just think at this stage of his career over the 1100 metres first up, although he has won 3 of 14 over the 1100, I think he might just need a run or two this time in. So I think Viridine's one that we can watch run well on Saturday and then stick with going into the prep. And it's a similar scenario for Order of Command, who has been racing really well, again without winning. Last time in, we saw this horse run second to Kimmel Passer at Flemington, then run second to Kimmel Passer again at Sandown at Group 3 level, and then just miss at Rosehill behind California Zimble and run second to Eduardo in the Group 1 Galaxy. Now, that run was over 1,100 metres as well, but another scenario where we see Order of Command probably get better with racing the further into his preparation he gets. So for Saturday, I think Malkovich is the here and now factor, has a lot of upside and will win. And going forward, I do want to be with both Viridine and Order of Command. I expect they'll both run well on Saturday, but for mine, I do think it's one of the better bets on the Caulfield program.
I like it. And he was 3 wide without cover the other day, Malkovich, but looking at the speed map here, he might be able to slot in because there's not too much speed on paper, is there really?
No, there's not. And I think it will play out in a similar scenario where Damien Lane went forward, realised the two horses in front were going too quickly, so was happy to take a sit behind the speed. And I think Jamie Carr will be afforded that luxury as well because there's not burning speed. So they might be able to go forward and either lead or sit outside the lead or sit just behind the speed. So it does match perfectly. He'll certainly be in front of some of the other market fancies, which is a good thing. Valami's a fascinating runner. This horse does have early toe as well, but I just think it maps really nicely for Malkovich. This horse has got a really good winning strike rate, having won 2 in a row and 6 of 12, where the other horses here for mine, they're up in the weights and they're resuming and will be better over more ground, or they're probably not up to this sort of level. So I do think the horse will get the job done on Saturday and probably represents one of the stronger betting prospects.
0416 90 50 52 if you've got a question for the great man Nicholas Quinn, who there's already a couple of questions coming through. Gators system 2 to 3, please, or 2 and 3. I think Gators having the weekend off. Mrs. Gator said no more form. You've got to give some time to the family. Hi, guys. Is Quinny taking over as coach? Or is this a succession plan? Is this the mould of the Buckley Malthouse or Mitchell Clarkson set up? And does Quinny have a Brownlow and 5 B and Fs to demonstrate credentials? Good luck on Saturday. That's from Mark from Miami.
Well, Mark, it's going to be more of those scenarios when Alistair Clarkson was away temporarily during the Hawthorn rain and they had a few people fill in for him for the week or two. It's going to be like that. Gator will be welcomed back with open arms next week.
What about the long division race? It took you a little while to work out, Quinny.
Look, it was probably race number 6 on the program because there's a horse, Red Santa, that I've always had a big opinion of, but the fact that he's won just the one race from now 7 career starts is a bit of a concern. But if we're going to do the footy coaching analogy, we're the local footy team, and Red Santa's the star player that's gone off and played AFL or VFL player, and they've got the bye this week, so he's coming back to play for the St Bede's Mentone in the amateurs, because I do think after running really well in some quality middle-distance staying events up in Sydney, Red Santa will sort of drop back in grade. I like these staying 3-year-olds from the Mar Eustace stable. I did like the run last start behind Wicklow, but it is one of those ones you look at Red Santa and you scratch your head a little bit because he did win that maiden at Geelong back in April. He was then well held at Caulfield, but I think the last 2 runs in Sydney might be the making of him, and I do think he can bounce back. But I can make a case if someone was to say I don't like Red Santa for reason A, B and C, I would certainly understand, but I do think there's an element now that this is the horse's chance, and hopefully on the back of those Sydney runs we might see him come out and get the job done nicely.
Let's hope he rocks up with the right attitude then. Doesn't get carried away.
I thought you were going to make a joke like can deliver the presents or something like that.
No, sometimes, I've seen a few players drop back after dominating at the VFL level to country football, and it's not as easy as it seems sometimes.
No, absolutely not. And a few of the podcast guests I've had on the AFL show, we do speak about that, where they've played AFL footy and then they go and have a game back at local footy. And Cam Mooney said the worst game he's ever played was when he went back and had a game like that. But can I also take the $1.20 that Warren Huntley makes a gag Saturday morning about tipping Red Santa?
Yes.
I'll lock that in now.
I'll jot that one down and put that into my book there to see what happens, Quinny. What about the D-Day, the horse that you need to have a chat to?
Deep Speed, which might appear a little bit harsh when you take a look at the fact that this horse has had 5 career starts for 2 career victories. But Deep Speed absolutely burst onto the scene, winning his first 2 races. First up at Morfettville, went absolutely smashed in the betting in the days leading up to the race and got the job done narrowly but impressively on that occasion. And then came out and won at start number 2 at Moonee Valley last October. Since that point in time, he's had 3 runs. They've all been full of merit. A Flemington placing, a Moonee Valley placing, and then not too far away on the Magic Millions program. But if this horse is probably going to get to the level that a lot of people initially anticipated he would, you want to see him come back and win. I'm surprised he's as short as he is. $2.60 on the skinny side for mine. I'd much rather probably have something on Zipping Boy at the double figure odds in that particular race. I'll get to Zipping Boy in just a sec. But I think Deep Speed's one where after Saturday, we'll probably change the way we assess him. If he wins, we're like, yes, he's the real deal. Stick with him going forward. But again, if he runs well and doesn't win, then maybe he was a little bit overestimated in early evaluations.
All right, then. So Quinny taking on. Oh, he's with Deep Speed, but he's had a word to him first up from a bit of a break, and hopefully he can get the job done in race number 2 there at Caulfield. Jamie Carr takes the right. This is Gareth Hall, Nicholas Quinn. This is our game plan here on this Thursday as we look ahead to Caulfield. Of course, Quinny replacing Gator. I don't know for how many weeks, 1 or 2, that Gator will be missing. But this is Quinny's chance to just dominate proceedings. And Quinny, we're about to go to your highlight because we've got Malkovich as your lock-in, the first player that you've selected. Red Santa's the race that you took a little bit of time to work out, but you've put him in your side. And then Deep Speed's the horse that you've had a chat to. He's your D-Day horse today or on Saturday there at Caulfield, race 2, number 4.
And as a elite junior athlete,
yes,
I don't qualify. As a junior athlete that didn't get a lot of the footy, I do qualify. So I want to do a little segment focusing on those sort of players, the ones that are not hyped, the ones that are big odds on Saturday that I think might have a good performance.
What, the Ed Langdon type of players?
Well, I didn't want to really compare it to a player because if I was putting myself in the same category, they couldn't help but take offence.
Okay.
We weren't all superstar sportsmen like you, Gareth Hall. We'll get you to tell
That's
us
a
about
good point you make.
when you got Cameron White out in cricket in just a sec, because I haven't heard that story today yet. But the two horses at big odds I think will run well on Saturday. Race 2, number 1, Zipping Boy, chasing a 4th straight victory. This horse currently $10 on the fixed odds. I really liked the win at Sandown last start, and he's a perfect 4 from 4 over the 1100 metres. Now, admittedly, some people looked back at that Sandown victory and thought that there was maybe a little bit of a bias towards the front-running horses, and it certainly was no disadvantage to be up on speed on that occasion. But what I liked about this victory is the horse was absolutely under siege at about the 400 metres and fought them off. And subsequently, Jerome Hunter's made a change with the gear, and he's taken the blinkers off, and he's put on, if you don't mind, and I think this makes the horse sound a little bit cooler as well, he's got the visors on. So he's wearing the visors on Saturday. The school of thought was that as tenacious as that victory was, the horse literally waited for the opposition to catch up and then kicked away again. So I think he'll be even better suited at Caulfield around that bend, kick off the turn and be very hard to catch at the $10. So I do think that represents a bit of value there. And for those punters that like to play $1 the win, $2 the place, I think we can have something on there.
So who are you tipping on top there? The D-Day horse?
No, I've got Zipping Boy on top.
Okay.
And then I've got the favourite Deep Speed in the selections, because for mine there's way too much of a difference from a price perspective. One's $10, one's $2.60. The fact that Zipping Boy the drum's going to be a better quote than Deep Speed the victory.
What about Sacred Palace in that race?
Well, it was a really good win last start, and I know you're a big fan of the Lindsay Smith stable as well. Has trimmed up on the fixed odds. I don't think that Bendigo race is going to be quite as strong a form reference as the other races the gallopers come through, but I've got Sacred Palace in there for 4th, so certainly not discounting that galloper.
Okay.
And like per anything, if you like something, don't doubt yourself, punters, just stick with yourself. But yeah, Sacred Palace did win well at Bendigo last start and could take good improvement from that. But I've got another one at odds in the last for us.
Yes.
Another horse that nearly fell into the D-Day category, Race 9, number 8, Jumbo Ozaki. Now, this is the horse that absolutely burst onto the scene winning his first 2 career starts, including a 7th-length victory at Pakenham. Since then, it's been a little bit challenging for punters, has had a combination of bad draws and bad luck along the way. And on face value, the 5th at Caulfield wasn't as impressive as it might look if you actually go back and watch the replay and look at the way the race panned out. This horse was really hunted along before the turn, but stuck on well. And I think Jamie Carr, we spoke about those beautiful soft hands before, Cozzy. I think they will just give Jumbo Ozaki a chance to settle off the speed and come with run 1. So just about the $10 mark, $8 at the moment. I think Jumbo Ozaki can race his way back into the winners list, Gareth.
All right, then. So that's the game plan. Recapping it. Malkovich, the best bet, the lock for this week for Cooney's game plan. Red Santa is his long division horse. Basically, the race that took him a little while to work out, but he's delivered with, or he's picked Red Santa in race 6. That's horse number 7 at Caulfield. Deep Speed is his D-Day horse, but he's taking it on in a way with Zipping Boy is one of his roughies, along with Jumbo Ozaki. So race 2, number 1, Zipping Boy. Race 9, number 8, Jumbo Ozaki. Do you have a highlight for us, Quinny?
Well, I have a highlight that we can end the day with a bang, because I think there's a horse that will win the last race at Doomben, and we love a winner late in the program. Hopefully we've got a little bit of extra money in the account after backing a few winners. And I think race 9, number 7, Kingston's Hair, is the best bet out wide on Saturday. A dominant win at Gold Coast first up and just nabbed late at Eagle Farm after bombing the start. I think this horse will be winning here, and take the $2.30 now, because I think he'll start about $1.80. So Kingston's Hair in the lucky last at Doomben on Saturday to top what is going to hopefully be a very profitable day, Gareth.
Okay, so Kingston's Hair, race 9, number 7 at $2.30. So that's race 9, number 7 is Quinny's highlight for the weekend. Okay, time for a few of our selectors around the country to ask the coach, the interim coach, a few questions. Villamai, Quinny, is a much better horse than Malkovich.
Look, it's not really a question. It's probably more of a statement, that one. But
that's the Resi's coach just chopping in. What are you doing, Quinny?
I've tipped Villamai for second. Villamai's got a lot of upside. Won a trial nicely at Rose Hill. has very good form over the trip and first up. A lot of upside there, so I would not talk you out of a bet on Villamai. Will be in my quaddie. I'm with Malkovich, but certainly no knock on Villamai.
Might take the same advice. Always wondered what the wife got up to on a Saturday. That's regarding Gator. Just he's been told that he's not allowed to do the form this weekend. He's got to concentrate on his family. Quinny, as a coach of your best player, Jamie Carr, do you have any special instructions for her on Saturday? At times, I reckon she's being tagged by other players, jockeys, and maybe a little nervous about being poised to win this Brownlow, which is 100 wins. That's from Mark.
It's an excellent observation. I do think she was a little bit agitated at the end of the day at Sandown on Wednesday, because there's no denying there was a lot of focus on her and extra attention, but that's what happens when you're the superstar. There are more eyeballs on you, and I think she's probably had a couple of days to take a deep breath since. A few rides today, not too many, but I think we'll see the best of Jamie Carr on Saturday. I don't think she did anything wrong on any of her rides yesterday. They just weren't getting the job done for her late. And back to Caulfield on Saturday. The positive for mine is I think it's going to be great. She'll get this 100th Metropolitan win in Melbourne on a Saturday. More eyeballs, great for the sport, and hopefully more cut through and exposure.
Jockeys are competitive, especially the jockeys here in Melbourne, and that's why no one's really been able to record 100 wins in a Metro season. Brett Preble was close, of course, with 99.5. But you could hear with the interviews straight after the race by a few of those jockeys, they don't want to give her an inch, basically, Jamie. They're not going to hand her win number 100. And I think Freddie has got a little bit of flamboyance about him, you could say. And I think his quote after winning one of the early races was, I'm quite happy to spoil the Jamie Carr party.
Well, if you're playing full back on a full forward and they're on 99 goals, you do want to make it as challenging for them as possible to get that 100th. But having said that, the jockeys have shown a lot of class in some of the tributes to Jamie throughout the course of the week. And when she does get that 100th, they'll all pat her on the back, but they're rightfully trying to make it as hard as possible for her.
Quinny, is Frosty Rocks a moral?
I wouldn't say moral. I'd say
from
really
Tom.
Strong each-way chance. This horse has been a firmer on the fixed odds, $8 into 5. Now the second elect behind Iron Power in that race. Has trialled really nicely twice before this resumption. The mini concern with this horse is he did find it hard to win last campaign, but knocked the door down, running second, fourth, and third his last 4 starts. So I'm going to have something each way on Frosty Rocks. I think does look a terrific chance, but as I said, the little niggle is sometimes he does find it hard to win.
Quinny, how do you think this track will play at Caulfield?
Look, I think it'll play really well. The rail's back in the true position. They will get their chance to win from everywhere. Like most venues, you do get an opportunity if you're up on speed, but I do think just down the crown of the track we'll see several winners like we did last time they raced at Caulfield.
Dave says Mirage Dancer, big price there in the Grafton Cup, $19, Quinny.
Cop the tip. We've had a few tips on RSN throughout the course of the morning for the Grafton Cup. Bjorn Baker was pretty bullish about his mount, who's been well backed on the fixed odds. Parry Sound, who's at $6. Perfect deal, the $3.20 favourite there, but love the tip coming through there. Described as a moral at the $19, so good luck there.
Question coming through for Quinny. Do you have a look at Sydney on Saturdays, or is it too much to look at?
No, I've looked at Sydney, but I haven't done the form for Sydney like I have at Caulfield. So we just spoke about Frosty Rocks, who does look a really good each-way play for those looking to go a little bit wider. And after breaking the hearts of punters this preparation, I did think that Hulk would be able to get back on the winners list. Race 6, number 3, currently a $3.50 chance. That horse has had lots of luck this preparation, all of it terrible. So I think Hulk might be able to atone for some of those near misses on Saturday.
Quinny, how many winners do you think Jamie can ride on Saturday, or do you think that sometimes the horses that she's riding are a little unders?
It's a little bit like William Pike, isn't it? Where sometimes we look at Pike's rides and the prices they are, and they look unders, and they probably are because they're so well backed, but then they're so good, these jockeys, they have the ability to lift them. So therefore, are they still unders or not? I think there's a little bit of a case with that with Jamie, but I do think she's got an excellent book of rides on Saturday, and I'd love to see her win 3 or 4 races, and there's every chance that she will.
Quinny, what about Red Can Man?
What about Red Can?
He's that former WA galloper that he was okay down the straight there at Flemington first up.
Look, and that's the thing. If you like the first up run and you like the horse, you probably want to have something again. But look, there's several winning chances in that race, and I've probably got a few ahead of Red Can Man.
Okay. All right, then there's another question coming through for Quinny. Quinny, what about the Tasmanians on the weekend? Now, I don't know. Scotty Brunton must have a couple in, does he? They're at Caulfield on Saturday. I saw one of his horses earlier on. I think he's got one in the last, and that might be Shot of Irish at $41. It'll probably need some luck, I would imagine, Quinny.
Look, I mean, the thing, when they bring them across, you've always got to pay respect. Scotty Brunton's got 2 in at Caulfield on Saturday. They've got race 4, number 11, Rate de Blitz,
Yes.
who's
$21.
and has had a little bit of fixed odds support as well. And the other one they've got is Shot of Irish there in the last. I mean, Shot of Irish did trial well nicely, but look, was pretty well held at Devonport last start, beaten 13.5 lengths, had excuses on that occasion. And the last time we saw this horse in Victoria did struggle a little bit, running 7th at Pakenham, 3rd at Moe, and 6th at Cranbourne. So I'd probably want to see a bit of improvement there before I could entertain Shot of Irish.
All right then, Quinny. I'm looking forward to Saturday's race music. It should be an absolute beauty there at Caulfield. All eyes will be on Jamie Carr once again. She rides nearly every favourite in every race.
Yes, hopefully Jamie can get a few winners, and Kingston's here can win the lucky last at Doomben, and we can find a few winners. So at least when Gator comes back next week, the team hasn't lost by 10 goals.
So we're basically on the cellar here, but there's a delay at Grafton for some reason, and Shepparton's not far away, and then Ipswich will follow. So, and then there's a little bit happening, so in the next 5 minutes or so. And then after that, Dan Malecki, Luke McCarthy will join me for Gatesby. Then we'll have a chat to Benny Day. A few questions I need to ask Benny, actually. I'll be a little bit hard-hitting than what Michael Felgate was. Of course, Benny Day's been our producer here on RSN Central and Racing Pulse. He's been at this wonderful establishment for 5 years, Benny Day. And we are going to Shepparton, Cozzy, I think. We'll go to Shepparton first, or Grafton's ready to go.